The difference between a vibrant democracy and just any other democracy is the space that we give our citizens. We mustn't think that the citizen's role is just once in 5 years to come and put in his vote and then be silent for the rest of the time. We must have a, a continuous process of keeping our citizens informed of all decisions in all situations, allowing decisions to make their informed decisions and giving them a space to express these informed decisions. Only then do we actually have a vibrant democracy. Look at our political decision making. The citizen's voice is meant to be represented in the political parties. But our political parties have become so closed, such exclusive clubs, almost like family gatherings. Where is the citizen's voice represented? Where is uncorrupted politics being represented in political parties? There is always an agenda by which the party benefits. There is always a vested interest which is projected. There is deep-rooted vested interest within political parties. The citizen has no voice within these political parties anymore. Look at our urban planning. Now, our Town and Country Planning Acts require that our urban plans, our master plans, development plans, should be thrown open to the citizen for their suggestions. There should be notice must be given of these plans and citizen suggestions must be called for. But we find bridges being suddenly shifted from place 1 to place A to place B simply because some vested interest has a property in that area. We refuse to engage the citizen in proper planning of our cities. The JNNURM scheme says that money will be given for schemes. Now you must come up with a citizens participation law. But I don't see conversations around the citizens participation law taking off in most of our states, not in Tamil Nadu. We had to file a public interest litigation in Tirupur because a bridge was just arbitrarily shifted from place A to place B. And the misery that will be caused to the citizen was of no consequence to whoever planned that, because the entire highway traffic would now be moved into the heartline of Tirupur city and causing great misery to the citizens. But nobody seems to be really bothered about that. Look at your RTI. It's supposed to be a great enactment. But even you read the Right to Information Act, even within it, it says that this is an interim arrangement. Now we are to move to a regime of full transparency, natural transparency, where government departments put up all their information on their websites. The regime that we aspire for is not one where citizens go around running for information, but the information is out there. Yet today, all right, the citizens ask for information, but how governments have figured out how to clog this RTI machinery. You clog the entire appeal process. You make pliable officers as commissioners. You have commissioners who will not impose penalty unless there is a deterrent. Unless one officer who refused to give information or delayed in the giving of information and a penalty is imposed, I mean, where do you send out a message that holding back of information will be penalized? Therefore, you clog your system with appeals, you put pliable officers, and you will now try all that you can to defeat the RTI. Look at your public services delivery. I mean, today a citizen is made to run from pillar to post to get basic services delivered. The purpose of government is to exist to give these services to the citizen. But your citizen is constantly told, "Nale kiva, come tomorrow," or is told, "Go to this agent or go to that agent." And even then, even to get this entire system activated, he has to probably approach the local political goons who function as agents. And even then there is a cost involved. He has to, I mean, the lady in the street behind where I live, to get her legal heirship certificate, which would entitle her to that widow's pension of rupees 1,000 a month. She was asked to come to the Tehsildar's office 5 times. And every time she has to take leave from her work. There is an economic cost to the citizen. And even after that, when she didn't get her certificate, she had to approach the local political goon to get the system activated, and she had to pay him a few thousand, so she got her legal heirship certificate. But that's not the way it should be. The citizen space should be protected by way of guaranteeing those services. A Right to Public Services Act, which says that if this service is not given within so and so time, then so and so person will be held accountable. so and so system gets activated if the citizen files a complaint, and the citizen will file a complaint if a penalty is going to be imposed which will get payable to the citizen. Now this is how we protect citizen spaces in these kind of activities. An ombudsman who watches out that citizens' funds, public money is being protected, public services, public projects are not being abused, that's the Lokpal or the Lokayukta. And we've seen what has been happening in the country for the last 2.5 years. And yet we don't have the Lok Ayukta in Tamil Nadu. We don't have a conversation about the Lok Ayukta in Tamil Nadu. In India we don't have the Lokpal. In several states we don't. And that's extremely unfair. What will it take to get them to understand that this is the citizen space, somebody who is protecting our assets, our public spaces, our public projects on behalf of the citizen? Now look at what's happening in our industry sector. Earlier, you just had to give a bribe or you had to make a payout for doing business. But today, they want to do the business themselves. Whether it be selling water, selling food, whether it is running media houses, being partners in power projects, running hospitals, being shareholders in hospitals, running schools and running engineering colleges, they want to do it themselves. They are finding industry as a method of money laundering and as a method of multiplying ill-gotten wealth. So today the genuine voice or the voice of genuine industry is being usurped by vested interests who are now entering industry as well, directly or indirectly. Now, we really need to ask ourselves, are we handing over way too much power to the hands of probably about 150-200 families in India? Are we moving from democracy to an oligarchy? And how do we set this right?
Which is why citizens must demand that every government action be pass the tests of the 3 governance mantras. That is, there must be transparency, there must be accountability, and there must be inclusiveness. Citizens must be part of the entire governance mechanism.